Hi, welcome to the Boca Voice and Fact or Fiction Friday. Today we are fortunate enough to have Marc Bell, who is not only an incredible guy, he is infamous in Boca Raton. Marc, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So Marc, you do so much for Boca Raton. I am so thankful for being on the show. But, just talk a little bit about some of the things you've done for Boca. I mean, you have done so much for the hospital, for the fire department, for the police department, for the museum. I mean, the list can go on. What got you so involved in the community?
I'm a big believer, we live and work here in Boca. And as a resident of Boca, we want to support the community. And we love giving back. And there's so many great things to give to in Boca. It's hard to pick from. But we want to make sure that we're contributing to the community and helping to make Boca a great place to continue to work and live.
That's great. So you got a lot going on this week alone. So tell me some of the things that happened this week, because as we were talking just prior to going on camera, you were talking about how Boca Raton has become more of a global city. Let's talk a little bit about some of the global things you have going on.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how much business gets done in Boca. I mean, we one of our investments this week did a $116 million follow-on offering. We had for our mortgage REIT, we had our aerospace company just closed on a deal with Lockheed Martin, who's now buying part of the company. And there's so many great businesses here in Boca, and so much business goes on. I don't think the outside world really realizes it's not just a destination to retire, it's a destination to work.
That is great. So Boca, when you decided to kind of bring all of your businesses in here to Boca Raton, and it's a vast empire that you've really built here, tell me some of the businesses that you've had, including fortunate, you've actually gotten on Oprah's list. So talk about the watch company.
So I was very lucky. Last year I purchased my favorite watch company, which is based in the Netherlands, called Kibu. And here's one of them. Here's one of them I'm wearing now. And it was a great company, and we decided to relocate the headquarters to Boca, and we moved it here, and we moved the distribution facility here to Boca as well. And it's been a great decision for the company. The company is now, we made the main runway at New York Fashion Week, the main runway at Swim Week, the first watch ever to make the main runway at New York Fashion Week. We were one of Oprah's top picks for the holidays. And it's really just very exciting as we brought the brand to America and brought it down here to Boca Raton.
That's phenomenal. What are some of the other companies you have?
We have a very big Broadway business. We produce Broadway shows. We own nightclubs, restaurants. We have internet, aerospace. We have a big venture capital business. We're invested in about 156 companies around the world.
That is unbelievable, and all right out of this office.
Correct.
In Boca Raton. That is just a phenomenal story. So what are some of the things that you think that as Boca grows, that you think that we need to look at as a city?
I think the city is does a phenomenal job. We have great infrastructure. We have great housing. We have great schools. I would love better cell service. I think that is definitely one of the biggest complaints we all get is driving around Boca. We need mobile service. You need to always be on the phone, especially in a global economy. It would be a great thing for the city to force the communities to build cell towers in this day and age. Even just for a safety reason, some people don't even have home phones anymore, and we'd love to see the city do that. But infrastructure-wise, the city's done a phenomenal job. It is the power grid is almost perfect, and getting there, but we think it's all the civil services are spectacular and world class.
That's great. As an entrepreneur, we started a couple new segments on the Boca Voice for millennials. And actually, it's an interesting new segment, Millennials in the Boardroom. What are some of the things that you could talk about for a young new millennial coming up and growing up as an entrepreneur that you think would be good ideas for them to reach your success?
We work with a lot of millennials, especially with a lot of our venture capital investments. And we always tell people that they have to follow their dreams. And don't do something because you think it's going to make money. Don't do something because you're going to sell it, you're going to IPO it. Do something because that's what you want to do. It's what you like to do. And it's amazing because when kids listen to that and they do that, how successful they really become. And we've seen that over and over again. The kids are the true believers, are the ones that truly succeed. And we always tell people, we always test people, but when we're going to invest. We say, well, would you let us take a mortgage out on your lien on your home or on your car? And if people say absolutely, you know they're true believers. If people say no, 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 then they're not true believers. And those people who are true believers really are going to work 120 hours a week. They're going to work hard. They're going to want to make it work. And it's great seeing the successes that has come from some of these.
That's phenomenal. So what are some of your favorite things to do here in Boca?
Favorite things to do, we love the beach. We love the sun, and that's why we're down here. It's there's so many new restaurants now. It's great.
You have a favorite?
I do have a favorite. My favorite's probably, and I know everyone else is going to hate this, but all my other friends, but New York Prime is probably my favorite. It's just very consistent. It's great food.
Johnny Gio is just the bomb.
He's great, and he takes very good care of us.
And you can't, Nick and Scott just take care of everybody.
It's our favorite place to eat, and we try to go anytime we go out. That's always our first choice.
Great. And how about for Italian?
For Italian, well, that's a big thing in our family because it's very funny. I actually love Renzo's, and I just had Renzo's for lunch today. And my wife's not a big Italian fan, but I had Renzo's for lunch because she doesn't have lunch usually here.
Speaking of your wife, I got to be honest with you. As we walked in, you showed me the bat phone. And then you showed me that when you pick up the bat phone, it actually dials directly to your wife.
Right.
And when she wants to reach you, it'll actually call back and it'll pick up just like the bat phone.
Right.
And that actually is the bat phone from Gordon's office in the original Batman series. And you have just so much memorabilia around. What got you to become such a memorabilia nut?
It's as I got older and realized that you can actually these things brought me joy as a kid, and watching them on TV or in the movies. It was fun to watch, and as we had the ability to start acquiring stuff, we did. So what most people don't know, like here in a warehouse in Boca, we have the original set from the original TV show Star Trek. Sits in a house here in Boca. Sits in a warehouse here in Boca.
Because you have a lot of the stuff from the house. I mean, I remember when we did the shoot that we actually did a segment from your house, and you have a lot of stuff right at the bridge from the Star Trek set, and you walk through. I was amazed as you go through your movie room or your movie theater, I should say. You actually walk through just like you would walk through the bridge. That's amazing. I mean, I just couldn't. I'm trying to think of the name of the Tribbles.
Right, Trouble with Tribbles. We have lots of the original Tribbles from the original TV show, and but we also have like the entire set of Star Trek First Contact with hallways and walls and hollow doors that open that sit in a warehouse that we're just waiting to build a venue to put all this stuff in. And it's fun. It's just like the video games we restore and nostalgia.
In your game room.
Yeah, it's just it's fun to have. It's fun to share with friends. Brings back your youth, keeps you young. It's all about staying young.
That's great. Listen, what else would you like to share with some of the viewers?
Nothing. I just I'm thank you so much for having me on the show. It's great. We love the city. We love where we live and where we work. And we can think of no better place on earth than here in Boca.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't share with everybody one of the great things you did for the city, that you were fortunate and the city was fortunate when the city wanted to restore the fire truck, that you actually helped in bringing that to the city. And you shared some of that with it. So tell us a little bit about the story about the fire truck.
So the city would always take a fire truck out of service to do community service, to do things, community outreach. They'd have to take a fire truck out of service, which means the city was always down one fire truck. And so there had to be a solution to that. So I went out and bought a fire truck that they can then use for those purposes, for the community outreach. So fire coverage would never be degraded in order to do community work. So they would always have, all the fire trucks that they have would always be in use, and they had one just to use now for community outreach.
And that's a great fire truck, because I've seen it in almost every event that the city does, and they do one big event over at the mall every year for outreach, and that's always there, as well as any parade we do for a city, which is a great thing that you've always done.
We want to support, all the emergency services here in Boca. We helped donate to the hospital to renovate the new emergency room. We started the Boca Raton Police Foundation in order to help the police department. We just helped them acquire a firearms training simulator the other month, and so then every officer now has gone through that at least once.
Wow, that's great.
And it's a fabulous thing. If you haven't seen it, it's a whole room dedicated to shoot or no shoot training simulations. But the goal is to give the officers more, it's almost a real-time experience they just can't get on the field, or may not want to have on the field the first time they get into that position, and helping them make better choices. And it's great. We're all about, making the place we live a better place to live.
Well, Mark, you certainly do that, and you're a gentleman, and you're a great citizen for the Boca Raton. We really appreciate everything you do.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being on the show, and we appreciate everything you do for the city. Thank you for joining us on the Boca Voice. We look forward to seeing you next week, and don't forget to follow us online and on Facebook.